Star Trek Section 31 can explain where Chameloids were during DS9's Dominon War. Star Trek Section 31 has an opportunity to shed some light on where the Chameloids were during the 24th century's Dominion War. The upcoming Star Trek spy movie, starring Michelle Yeoh as former Terran Emperor Philippa Georgiou, is set to bring back the Chameloids for the first time since their debut in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. The return of the Chameloids could address why the species were never seen again after Star Trek VI, perhaps explaining why the franchise's other shape-shifting aliens never appeared in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Detroiters co-creator and star Sam Richardson's role in the cast of Star Trek Section 31 has been confirmed as a member of the Chameloid race. Originated by supermodel and actress Iman in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, the Chameloids are shape-shifting aliens that can mimic any form. Not to be confused with Deep Space Nine's changelings, the Chameloids have never been seen as a major player in the Star Trek universe. This was despite the Federation waging war against another shape-shifting alien race during DS9's Dominion War, raising the question of where the Chameloids' loyalties lay. Chameloids were nowhere to be seen in Star Trek DS9's Dominion War, but why? Given how the changeling threat impacted the civil liberties of people living on Earth during Star Trek Deep Space Nine's Season 4 two-parter, Homefront/Paradise Lost, it's strange that the rights of other shapeshifters never came up. There's a solid production reason for this oversight, as DS9's writers would have been keen to avoid confusion by introducing a different race of chameleonic aliens. Still, the in-universe explanation for the Chameloids' absence from the Dominion War never came. If they were allies of the Federation, the Chameloids would surely be a vital ally in the war against the changelings. Alternatively, if the Chameloids were enemies of the Federation, then there could be darker reasons for their absence from Deep Space Nine's Dominion War. Section 31's Dominion War crimes were extensive, and rounding up and imprisoning Chameloids to prevent them allying with the changelings would be a normal day's work for Starfleet's shady intelligence organization. However, if a Chameloid was a former Section 31 asset or operative, then the organization may have looked on the shapeshifting species more favorably, offering them protection during the Dominion War. Section 31 can finally explain Chameloids 30 years after Star Trek VI, Star Trek. Section 31 will explore the relationship between Sam Richardson's Chameloid character and the intelligence organization first introduced in Deep Space Nine. As all information about Section 31 and its operatives was erased at some point prior to DS9 Season 6, Episode 18, Inquisition, it's possible that details about the Chameloids were also redacted. In Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, Marcia Iman assists the Khitomer conspirators with their plan to have Captain James T. Kirk, William Shatner, killed, which suggests an existing relationship between Section 31 and the Chameloids. Perhaps Section 31 retained the services of the Chameloids and then withheld information about their existence from the wider Federation. Kirk refers to the Chameloids as mythical in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, implying that encounters have been incredibly rare. A near-mythical race of shapeshifters would make for excellent intelligence operatives, meaning Star Trek Section 31 can finally reveal what covert activities the Chameloids were up to before they retreated back to their mythical status. Star Trek Section 31 can explain where Chameloids were during DS9's Dominion War in the expansive universe of Star Trek. The mysteries surrounding certain species can be as compelling as the main narrative itself. One such enigmatic species is the Chameloids, shapeshifters first introduced in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Though they demonstrated remarkable abilities, similar to the founders of the Dominion in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, DS9, Chameloids were conspicuously absent during the Dominion War. This begs the question, where were they during this pivotal conflict? An intriguing answer may lie within Section 31, the shadowy and clandestine intelligence organization operating within the Federation. Who are the Chameloids? Chameloids are a rare species of shapeshifters, distinct from the founders of the Dominion. In The Undiscovered Country, the character Marcia, a Chameloid prisoner on Rurapenth, showcased her species' ability to mimic both living and inanimate objects. Though they may share abilities with the Dominion's founders, Chameloids differ significantly. They seem to be fewer in number, less organized, and lacking the same kind of hierarchical, militaristic society as the founders. While the founders are rulers of an empire, the Chameloids appear to be more individualistic, wandering, or nomadic. This disconnection from galactic politics may explain their apparent absence from the Star Trek narrative. However, given their abilities, it seems unlikely that the Dominion, or anyone else for that matter, would ignore them during a war heavily focused on infiltration and espionage. Section 31, a shadowy role. Section 31, the Federation's secretive and morally ambiguous intelligence agency, has been involved in many of Starfleet's covert operations, often working in the background to protect the Federation from external threats. During DS9, Section 31 played a crucial role in the war against the Dominion, particularly with their actions concerning the Founders, such as their attempt to infect them with a deadly virus to turn the tide of the war. The agency operates in the moral gray area that Starfleet itself is hesitant to tread, frequently taking drastic and sometimes unethical actions to safeguard the Federation. One of the central tenets of Section 31's operations is their willingness to use any tool or ally, no matter how questionable, to achieve their goals. Given the Chameloids' shapeshifting abilities, Section 31 would likely view them as both a potential threat and a resource. If the Chameloids were ever on Section 31's radar, the organization could have taken steps to either recruit or neutralize them during the Dominion War. A cloaked alliance or forced neutrality? Section may 31st have approached the Chameloids early in the war, recognizing their potential value in combating the Dominion's own shapeshifters. After all, who better to counter a shape-shifting enemy than another shapeshifter? The Chameloids, despite their reclusive nature, could have been convinced, whether through diplomacy, coercion, or subterfuge, to side with the Federation, working in secret to help Section 31 in their intelligence gathering and infiltration efforts. Alternatively, Section 31 might have neutralized them to prevent any possibility of the Chameloids joining the Dominion. Given Section 31's ruthlessness, it's conceivable they orchestrated a covert operation to ensure that the Chameloids remained uninvolved. This would align with Section 31's willingness to employ morally dubious tactics, such as unleashing a virus on the Founders. The organization could have seen the Chameloids as a dangerous wildcard, too unpredictable to be allowed to participate in the conflict on either side. Chameloid isolation or extinction? Another possibility is that the Chameloids, despite their abilities, chose to remain hidden, avoiding the larger galactic conflict entirely. They may have gone into deeper isolation, recognizing that involvement in the Dominion War would draw unwanted attention to their species. The Chameloids may not have the same ambitions as the Founders. While the Founders sought dominion over other species, the Chameloids might simply want to survive without entangling themselves in interstellar wars. However, even if the Chameloids wished to stay neutral, it's unlikely that both the Dominion and the Federation would allow such a powerful species to remain uninvolved. If Section 31 deemed them too dangerous to leave alone, they might have eliminated the Chameloids as a precautionary measure. Perhaps Section 31 located their homeworld and conducted a preemptive strike, ensuring the Chameloids could not be swayed by the Dominion. While such an action would be extreme, it's not beyond the realm of possibility for an organization like Section 31.